We treat every firearm as if it's loaded, always, always. We automatically assume that every gun that's around us is loaded. Kids, if you're in your house or if you're over at a friend's house and you're playing inside the house and you go into a closet and you see mom or dad or Uncle Joe's gun in the closet, is that gun loaded or unloaded?
Loaded.
You're going to assume that it's automatically loaded, and we're going to leave it alone. We're not going to touch it, all right? We'll leave, we'll go tell an adult what we found, but we're not going to touch it, okay? If we are doing activities where we do expect to shoot firearms, and that's perfectly acceptable, then what we are going to do is make sure that we know the status of those firearms at all times. When we took the rifles out of Hal's car, first thing that we did was verify that those guns were unloaded, so that way there we could safely handle them, so that way there were no, and I hate to use the word accidents, because accidents generally involve carelessness.
Yeah.
Okay? But if we're being vigilant when we're handling firearms, should there be accidents? No. All right, and if we're following the rules for safe gun handling, there should not be any accidents. So there's acts of carelessness and there's acts of negligence, which means that we're really not paying attention to the rules that we should be following. So we're going to be very, very vigilant. We're going to pay attention to the rules, and we're going to think about things before we do them. Okay? So the first one is we always treat every firearm as if it's loaded always. Now, I've got a couple of people here that are going to be helping me out today, and they are going to be the ones who are going to verify that your firearm is clear. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that rule, but they will be doing that for you. Okay, so Jonathan, number 1 here, is going to be helping me out. Jonathan, number 2, okay, and then Pastor Dave is going to be helping out as well, too. Okay. Rule number 2 is that we don't ever put our finger on the trigger, and this, by the way, is a blue gun. This is a training gun. It's just a piece of plastic that looks like a firearm, but it cannot fire. All right, this is why I use this for demonstration purposes. Okay, but what you're going to notice about this too is, do I have my finger anywhere near that trigger?
No.
Where's the muzzle pointing?
Down.
It's down at the ground. So I'm going to treat this the same way that I would, because my brain, if I'm not thinking about it, is not going to differentiate between real gun or training device. It's going to do what I do more often. Okay. So if I start handling this irresponsibly and recklessly, then if I'm not thinking about it, when I pick a firearm up, what I've trained to do here is exactly what I'm going to do if I have a real gun in my hand. And I certainly couldn't do that. Okay? So we are going to keep our finger off of that trigger until we have positively identified our target, which is going to be the targets that are on those pallets down there, and we are actually ready to take that shot. All right? But if we're going to if we stop shooting, we're going to take our finger off the trigger. All right? If we're done, we're going to take our finger off the trigger. If we have to move the firearms, finger's going to be off that trigger. So that's a big, big rule, because the guns will not go off unless we put our finger on the trigger and put pressure to the rear. Okay? That's what causes the gun to go off. Rule number 3, yes?
Are we going to be able to fire any handguns today, or just those rifles?
We'll do some handguns too, yeah. So that'll be towards the tail end. Okay. So if you want to shoot the rifles, if you want to go off and then come back here, I have a hard stop at 4 o'clock because I have to be out of here at 4:15. So I might be able to squeeze an extra 15 minutes out, but we'll get people through the rifles first, and then we'll have an opportunity with the handguns. So we've got some semi-automatic Glock 22s, or one semi-automatic Glock 22, and I've got a couple of Glock 17s and Glock 19s, which are 9 millimeters. And we have
those
one
are questions
smaller
out.
AR-15. So,
Do you have any 1911?
no. So rule number 3. Notice where I have the business end of the gun pointing right now, down at the ground. And that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do today as well too. Always, always keep your gun pointed in a safe direction. The 2 safest directions that we can point the firearm, down at the ground or in the direction that we intend to fire the shot. We don't ever want to take the firearm and have that muzzle pointing up. Okay? Because if I fire that gun off and it's pointing in the air, where is that bullet going to go?
Come right
It's going
back.
to go up, and then eventually it's going to wind up coming down.
Bang, yeah,
And those bullets can travel well over a mile. So you think about that, that bullet could leave this area and it could wind up over on the campus of Kimball Union. It's a very, very easy transition for that bullet. So we always want to make sure that the muzzle of the gun is pointing down or in the direction that we intend to fire the shot. You're going to have a safety officer behind you who's going to watch it, so you don't really have to worry about that, but this is just for general speaking. Okay? Number 4 is we always want to know our target and what we're shooting at. So we know what our target is. If we were to miss our target, or because that bullet is definitely going to penetrate that thin paper target, what is that bullet going to hit if it misses the target or it goes through the target?
The ground.
So we know here it's going to go into a hill.
Yes.
There's nobody back there. We don't have to worry about people coming up the path or anything else like that. So that's perfect. Okay.
Right.
But we always want to know our target. We want to know what we're going to hit if we miss our target, or we know what we're going to hit if that bullet goes through our target and then continues on to strike something else. Okay. So that's what we call our arc of fire, and we want to be very, very careful of knowing what our arc of fire is.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the 5th one, is one that we don't hear, or I don't hear this all that often. but I think it should absolutely be included in every safety briefing. And that is, if you feel like you are going to drop a firearm, if you feel like it is slipping from your grasp or you're losing positive control over it, don't ever try to grab a gun or catch a gun that you've dropped. Because when we try to catch something that is falling or we don't have control over it, what do we automatically and instinctively do? We clench, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens if your finger in that uncontrolled clench, all right, now hits that trigger? What's going to happen?
Fire.
It's going to go off. We actually did a research study because we wanted to know, when somebody clenches, how much pressure do they clench with? So we got about 180 people to get hooked up to electrical sensors, and we did all sorts of things with them. We pushed them, we shoved them, we startled them, we do all those different things, and it didn't matter. From 18 years of age to 78 years of age, everybody clenches with the same amount of pressure, thereabouts. How much pressure do you think that is? Anyone take a guess?
50 pounds.
Not quite.
62 pounds.
Yes.
22 pounds of pressure. That's average. These triggers generally are between 4 and 6 pounds of pressure.
Whoa.
So you're putting roughly 4 times the amount of pressure into an uncontrolled action as it would take to get that gun to go off. Okay, and I know of several instances where there have been negligent shootings on lines where people have dropped their guns, they've caught their guns, and bad things have happened. So we don't ever try to catch a gun that is dropped, that has slipped from our grasp, or that we've lost positive control over. Let it fall when it comes to arrest, and if it's safe to do so, then we would pick that firearm up. Okay? So those are the big 5. Number 1, always know the status of your gun, loaded or unloaded. Number 2, always keep the finger off the trigger until you've positively identified your target and you're ready to shoot. Number 3, always keep that gun pointed in a safe direction, down at the ground or in the direction we intend to fire the shot. Number 4, we need to know what we're shooting at. We need to know what we're going to hit if we miss our target. We're going to need to know what we hit if our bullet goes through our target and continues on to hit something else. And number 5, we don't ever try to catch a gun that we have dropped, that has slipped from our grasp, or that we've lost positive control over. Questions, comments, thoughts, concerns?
Did the people you do the testings on agree to the testing, or did you just randomly go and push?
We just randomly went and pushed people, and so, generally once the dust settled and the lawsuits were, they were all willing participants.
We were able to
We got
compile the
releases and
data,
everything,
yeah.
So everything was done by them.
Mr. Head, just a comment too. Many times someone will hand you, oh, it's not loaded. I'm never offended. In fact, I hope someone verifies that. And if it's an automatic, there's always a round. There could be a round in the chamber. So just because the magazine is not there, you got to make sure that there isn't a round in the chamber, because that's a lot of people. Oh, it's not loaded. Magazine, and they get.
People are shot every single day by guns that were unloaded.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I didn't realize it was loaded. Well, if you had verified the status of your firearm, would that have happened? Probably not. So again, it's acts of carelessness and acts of irresponsibility that lead people to get hurt or dead, and that's what we don't want to happen.
How do you go about training someone not to try to reach for a falling weapon? I mean, it's like our almost genetic since we were, to like,
Instinctive,
oh, a cup,
Dad.
Pillow,
Dad.
my
Dad.
wife,
Yeah.
Like, how do you train the...
She knows.
My wife is falling. Oh. How's the
Sorry,
status
he
of your
trained
relationship?
me.
I mean,
How did that feel?
I'm newly married. I would probably protect her, but I don't know. Give it a couple of years. That may change. So if it's the mother-in-law, I would still protect her. She's agreeing. So because he's got that on camera. So
Oh, I'm going to send this to your wife.
no, Christine, I love your mom. So
Questions over there from teenagers.
With the state police trainer. He had this beautiful handgun with a beautiful, like,
Oh my gosh.
red dot, this and that. And he said, I'm going to show you guys so you really believe me. And we were in this range with a cement floor. He says, watch me. I'm going to just let my gun drop and bam, he just threw it on the ground. Basically. He says, don't worry about the gun, it's going to be fine.
there are drop safeties in every firearm. I mean, to answer your question, it's just one of those things we have to make it, we have to make it clear. This is what we don't want you to do, and how people retain that, because they don't really have an opportunity to practice that motor skill. But I can tell you, I have seen people during qualifications. I had one that happened 2 weeks ago. As he was getting up from a kneeling position, he fell over, and he did exactly what you're supposed to do. He dropped that gun, and he let it fall, and that was perfect. Like if you feel like you're going to fall on the ground, for instance, we would want to let the gun. We wouldn't want to take the gun along for the ride, because now it's uncontrolled, and generally speaking, where do people have their fingers? Safely along the side, or do they have it riding that trigger? Okay. Now, if I lose my balance and I go, butt over tea kettle, what's going to wind up happening? I'm going to get that clench. So we want to be super careful about that. So it's a great question. It's just one of those things that, I mean, unless we're putting people in some pretty high stress situations, we're probably not going to wind up getting an opportunity to really, pressure test that skill. So, yes.
If the gun falls, will it always fire?
No, guns have drop safeties in them, so they're designed not to drop. And here's the nice thing about this. Today, you're going to be standing in front of the table, so even if you were to drop your firearm, it's going to drop maybe about 2 feet. Some of you are a little bit shorter, like you guys. If you were to drop your firearm, then it's got about a 12-inch drop. No big deal. And you're going to have a safety officer who's going to be right there with you, so there's no issues.
That's what they often show in the movies. They show people dropping guns and them going off, but that's not true in real life.
Here's the bottom line. If you see it in a movie, assume that it's fake. Assume that it's fake. Here's the one thing that's beautiful about guns in the movies. They never run out of ammo.
Especially revolvers, right?
Especially revolvers. Yeah. You get 27 shots out of a 6-shot revolver. It's incredible. So, yes.
Where did you get your shirt?
Target Sports USA. So, at tgusa.com. So, I'm a non-compensated spokesperson. I'm actually doing instructional videos for their company. So, yes.
So are you just going to have them shooting in a standing position, or are you going to allow them to rest on the table?
I'm just going to have them standing in shooting position. It's going to be nice and simple. Okay. So as we go through, everybody is going to get, we're going to do 20 rounds. So you're going to have 2. Every single one of these firearms, except for this one here, has what's called a box magazine. The box magazine holds 10 rounds. So we're going to do 2 sets of 10 for a total of 20 rounds, and then you guys will get your targets. So what will happen, everybody will do their 20 rounds at their respective targets. If you are furthest down here on the left-hand side, you are shooting at the left target. If you are standing in the middle, you are shooting at the middle target. Now, nobody told you there was going to be a test, but here's your first question. If you're standing on the right side, what target are you going to be shooooting at?
The right target.
You guys are like, you're high speed. So, very simple. Once you have shot your 20 rounds, then just stand by. Once everybody on the line has shot, we're going to call the line cold, and then we'll have one person who will go down. People who are downrange are going to wear yellow safety vests. Once they go downrange, they're going to change the targets out. We'll grab a permanent marker. We'll write your name on your target, and you can take that home, put that on your wall. I don't recommend bringing it to school if you go to a because you might no pun intended, you might trigger somebody.
Yeah.
So if you chew a Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun, you're going to get expelled forever. So, but hang it on your bedroom wall and be proud of it. And remember that Camp Constitution gave you an opportunity to exercise the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution under the Bill of Rights, which is the right to keep and bear arms, which is essential to our liberty and our way of life. So, God bless the USA. God bless the Second Amendment.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
Amen.
All right, so without further ado, is it relevant?
No.
Then save it till after. All right, because we're burning time here. So what I need you guys to do is, as far as the safety aspect goes for eyes and ears, eyes and ears just simply refer to protective safety goggles and the hearing protection. If you are a parent or if you want to take pictures or whatever, you're welcome to do that. I do need you to have eye and ear protection on if you are forward of that tarp log splitter that's right there.
Yeah.
Okay? If you want to watch, you're more than welcome to. If you're beyond that blue tarp log splitter, you don't have to have eye pro and ear pro on because these are 22s. These are very quiet. Okay, but if you're going to be forward here, just in the interest of safety, I would want to make sure that you guys have eye pro and ear pro on at that point. So our range commands are going to be very simple. First thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, eyes and ears. That's a question.
Sebastian,
Okay?
let me speak.
Eyes and ears. That's a question. You'll notice it's a question because there's an upward inflection at the end. If your eyes and ears are on, just respond back eyes and ears. Okay, nice and simple. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say, or I'm going to ask you guys range clear. And this is where, because safety is everybody's responsibility. So we're going to look down, starting at that path. We're going to scan across up to the hill right there, and we're going to go back again. And we're looking for anything, animal, mineral, vegetable, human, or vehicular, that we wouldn't want to put a bullet into. As long as that line is clear, then you're going to respond back to me, line clear. Then when we go hot, that's when we can load the firearms, do what you need to do. We'll call the line cold. Until you hear that line cold command given, make sure your eye and ear pro is on. Okay? Any other questions? Is it relevant?
Yes.
Yes.
If I'm wearing my glasses, are the eye pro things gonna like interfere?
If you have if you have regular prescription eyeglasses, or if you have sunglasses, okay, you can certainly wear these. That's fine. It doesn't necessarily matter as long as you have something covering your peepers. Because if something comes back at you, we want to make sure that your eyes don't get injured. So regular prescription glasses, reading glasses, safety glasses, sunglasses, drinking glasses, no.
Shot glasses too, right?
Shot glasses, well that's for the adult shoot afterwards. No, because what do we never ever do?
Drink and
Drink and
Drink and
shoot.
shoot, absolutely. And you know what? We have to say that kind of because here up in New Hampshire, everybody has barbecue parties and all that. You know, and after the uncles go out there and they have a couple of beers, it's like, yep, hey, take a look at my 1911. And it's like, yeah, let's not do that if we've had anything that could cause us potentially to make bad decisions. So that's generally where I kind of have to go into cop mode and be like, let's not do that because it's definitely unsafe. Okay? All right, so what I would like you guys to do is to figure out, giving the children the priority, is what we want to do is come up with squads of 3. So we should have like an A squad of 3 and then a B squad of 3. So that way there, as the first group of 3 are up, B squad, you're going to be on deck, and then so on and so forth. Okay? And I have a couple of extra sets of ears, so I will bring those over. You have eyes?
I brought some heads. I brought 6 plus the the ear plugs.
You have eyebrow?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, but if you're right next to it, well, yeah, but we're over here, so.
Nice and smooth, controlled. There we go.
Oh, they're hitting. Yeah, I can see.
Okay, watch your trigger finger when you come off that target.
How's camp going?
It's going pretty well. There's just a staff there that's annoying everybody. One of the hired hands here, but we're gonna blanket party him later on tonight, so maybe put a stop to that foolishness.
Wait, what's happening?
I said there's somebody that works there that's kind of annoying everybody, but we're gonna give him a blanket party. You know what a blanket party is?
Once you crap out the person with the blanket.
Well, when that person's sound asleep, you go into the room where he's sleeping and you put a blanket over him, and everyone just beats the daylights out of him.
Well, I don't think you should try that. Because
No, I'm just kidding.
I heard.
I'm recording this. I'm just kidding about the blanket party. That's unethical, immoral, and illegal, and we never engage in such things. I'm going to turn this off because
Yeah,
Nice job.
but I kind of want to try that one.
You want to try that gun?
Yeah.
So when he
All right, Dave, that was your
finishes
turn,
his 10,
sweetie, so
you
let's
can
back up.
So
try.
you'll have to be patient then.
You are a pro with that.
It's turning into. What do they call it? In World War I, it was like
bolt action.
The Mosin Nagant.
second.
But
Like
then-
they were so
But
quick
then
at it,
he's
they
going to
like
be
did it
able
with a
to
movement of their
shoot
hands.
mine.
Yeah.
Right, he'll shoot this and
Yeah.
you'll shoot that when he's done with his.
So here's what I want you to do. Okay? Can you? Yeah. No. Go ahead. Do that again. Reach over. Are you left-handed or right-handed? What do you?
Right-handed.
You're right-handed. So can you? So what I want you to do is I want you to hold the gun right here, just like that, and then when you do it, use your right hand. When you cycle. Okay? It's just gonna be a little bit more comfortable for you.
Trying to get him to do that, but I think it was like pulling
Well, hold on,
him.
we have to
He
pick up
wasn't
the
coming
target.
up over the stock or something.
Oh, I see. You have your own target. The one that he shot at, he gets to take home.
One of the things that I had mentioned to Hal in the past was doing, you know, like a full day where we could go through.
You don't like this
'Cause
gun?
basically it's.
No,
you know,
I
here's
do.
a
I
quick
just
primer,
want to
5
try
minutes,
that
boom,
gun.
safety,
Okay.
and then because it's more about the
Your
experience
targets
than
will
it
be
is.
mixed up then, you know.
Even if you took, you know,
Well, just remember
half a
that
day,
mine is
you
the
took the
little
whole
one I
evening.
got.
No, but you gotta shoot in line.
this is where you're
not supposed to shoot
talking
across.
There, would have done some good.
Well, we did, you know, we're talking about its concept. We're not really talking about the shooting aspect. My talk in there is usually it's, you know, the Second Amendment, what the Second Amendment means,
Dave all done.
and looking at it from
I don't know that he hit
freedoms
the
and
target.
liberties and
He tried.
differences thereof. So
That would be a
that's
fast
the general.